God will not bless you with more until you steward what you already have effectively. So many people are so focused on the things that they don't have that they don't appreciate the things that they do have and that they're blessed to have. And because of it, they stay stuck for so long. But the people who exponentially grow are the people with this trait. They don't focus on what they don't have, but they focus on what they do have, and they appreciate it to the fullest capacity. And as a byproduct of them appreciating the blessing that they're currently living in, understanding that they're living in things that they used to pray for, allows them to grow exponentially. Because they're not focused elsewhere, but they're focused right here, in the present, unwrapping the gift that God has given them. For example, it's like on Christmas Day, you get a Christmas present and you just look at it, right? You put it to the side and then you're on to the next. You never really open the Christmas present or make the most of the Christmas present. Some of you guys may unwrap it. You may look at it and you might put it to the side. Think about the person who gifted you that gift. Right? For you not even to open it, you think that person's gonna give you another one? You see, God blesses those who are reliable. Right? I'm not saying you have to have accolades on your side and be the best to ever do it. No. And I want you guys to understand that God doesn't call the qualified, God qualifies the called. Right? The people that He does amazing things with are the people that realize that they're living in a blessing and are truly grateful for everything they have in their life. You cannot make the most out of something if you do not express gratitude. Gratitude is the highest level of operation. You will produce your best work when you operate at a gratitude. Hence the reason people that seek first the kingdom and are focused on kingdom principles are the ones that see tremendous success, are the ones that exponentially grow, is because they understand that the things of the world, the materialistic things, they're fleeting. The pleasure that comes with them is momentarily and it's fleeting. But focusing on spiritual values, focusing on Jesus within everything, allows them to always operate from a place of gratitude, right? Which is a powerful state, as you guys know. So what I wanted to get into today was the parable of the talents, right? And essentially the master that entrusted one servant with 1 talent, the second servant with 2 talents, and the third servant with 3 talents. Okay? So this master entrusts 3 servants, and honestly, I'll just read it. This one is the NIV, so we're actually gonna call it the bags of gold. Chapter 25, verse 14. If you guys want to flip there, feel free. Let's run it. Matthew 25, verse 14. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Let's stop right there. Each according to their ability. So I want you guys to understand, whether or not you get 1 or 5, it is according to your ability. God sees the ability that you have, and He will bless you accordingly. Now, the thing about your ability is that you can exercise your ability. You can go out there, develop perseverance and character, and grow your ability. This is what a lot of people don't do. You know why? Because they're so focused on the things that they don't have. They're so focused on the bags of gold that God gave other people that they never make the most out of their own, not fully understanding that they have the opportunity of a lifetime to grow their ability. They have the opportunity to have opportunities, right? How does Nigel go from being a factory worker to traveling around the world, running a multi-6-figure business, all while glorifying God? It's because God gave me 1 bag of gold. You know, Nigel, here's this thought. Start an online fitness coaching business. And it might not be that for you, but it was for me, because the one thing I knew how to do was grow in the gym. That was something I was passionate about. God planted that idea, starting my own business, right? I never wanted to work a 9 to 5. He planted that seed and I ran with it. And now I'm a consultant for just people that want to get into coaching in general, right? I grew my ability. I stewarded the opportunity He thought, the seed that God planted, and as a byproduct, see what I'm saying? And it makes me so happy to share this with you guys, my brothers, because like, yo, understanding that you always have the ability to grow, to build, to learn, it's such an amazing thing. You know, like, thank God that we have the opportunity to have opportunities, like, genuinely, because there is nothing better than just appreciating what Jesus has done for you. So what I'm saying, like, I'm happy. You see, I'm happy to sit down and share this with you guys and film this YouTube video, And it's because I'm operating out of a place of gratitude. I realize what Jesus has done in my life, and it'd be a disservice if I didn't share it with you guys. Anyways, back to it. So God blesses those according to their ability. Okay, let's continue now. Then he went on his journey. He left them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more. Verse 17, so also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. So what did he do? He moved out of scarcity, right? Instead of moving out of abundance, knowing that Jesus is a provider and that he's a protector and that he'll never fail you, he was moving out of scarcity, right? So he dug a little hole and he planted his little bag of gold, and he was waiting for his master to come back. Well, the other 2 were moving out of abundance and went out and multiplied what the master has given them. One of the first commands God gave man is be fruitful and multiply. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, and they don't get to access the blessings that God has available. It's because they operate out of fear, right? And the Bible tells us God does not give us the spirit of fear. He doesn't. So who is it from? The enemy. The enemy keeps so many people stuck, thinking that they are inadequate, they are not enough, that they might go out there and try something and they might lose it all. It was never yours to begin with. And the people that realize that, the men that realize that opportunity is such a blessing, they're the ones that grow, right? So with that being said, he moved out of scarcity and he went and he planted the bag of gold instead of multiplying like the other 2 servants. Let's see what the master has to say about this. But then the man that received 1 bag went off, dug a hole, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The master was happy, right? The one thing God calls you to do is go out there, be fruitful and multiply. Make the most out of this gift, out of this blessing of a lifetime. The man who had received, I'm not even done. Then his master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. So what is the reoccurring variable here is that when you multiply, you make the master happy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love the idea of building. Right? You guys have to fall in love with the idea of building something for the kingdom. Building something in honor of your master. Genuinely. I wake up each and every single day and it's like the fact that I get to serve others through my consulting, my coaching business is such a blessing. And I wouldn't rather be doing anything else, quite frankly. Right? You know why? I go hard in the paint. You want to know why? I show up every single day and do what needs to be done because I know my master's up there smiling at me, seeing his son making the most out of the opportunity that he gave me. Genuinely, I live by this. I want to show God what his creation is truly capable of. Like, I want to show God what his creation is truly capable of. I'm 22 years old. There's no reason I'm out here grinding, like not stressing, right? But yeah, I guess sometimes, if I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? But there's no reason I should be out here grinding, working far harder than 99% of people my age. But I do it anyways. You know why? Because I'm happy to. You know why I'm happy to? Because instead of focusing on everything I don't have, I feel so blessed to have the things that I do have. And I feel obligated to make the most out of them. That's the difference. Now, what happened to this last servant? Let's see. The man who had received 1 bag of gold came and said, Master, I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you have not yet sown, and gathering where you have not yet scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. Some of you guys are moving like this servant who is afraid to go out there and try, afraid to go out there and test, afraid to go out there and risk. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? Oh, you're scared to start coaching, invest in a mentor, or take that step with day trading, or take that step with drop shipping, whatever it might be. What's the worst thing that can happen? You end up where you're already guaranteed, working that 9-to-5 job, right? And it doesn't have to just be financially. I'm just using this as an example because it really puts things in perspective. What do you really have to lose? What's the worst thing that can happen? Let's say the worst thing that can happen, I mean, from a human standpoint, is death. But is death really the worst thing that can happen? If you've given your life to Jesus Christ, is that the worst thing that can happen? Or is it really the best thing that can happen? Is it really just deliverance from this flesh? So with that being said, when you realize and understand that, it was never yours to lose in the first place, you cannot operate from a place of fear because God owns all of this. But some of you guys are moving like the first servant who was given one bag of gold. You're taking your gift, you're taking the seed that God has planted in you, and you're hiding it, right? You're afraid of what your master might do if you lose it all. Honestly, let's be honest. A lot of you guys aren't even concerned with the master, and that's why you haven't done anything with it. A lot of you guys are concerned with the people that are watching, and the fact that they might see you fail, and the fact that they might see you fall, and the fact that you might start something and you might not get to where you want to be. Right? And they might look at you, call you a failure, say I told you so. But what's the worst case scenario? You end up right where they are. That's what the worst case scenario is in your head. But is it really the worst case scenario? I think the worst case scenario is having the ability, having the opportunity to build, to grow, to learn, to gain more wisdom, and not using it. Going a lifetime where you were blessed with the opportunity to have opportunities and not seizing any of them. I think that's the worst case scenario, right? You're talking to a kid right now that grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment, literally in a disability apartment. It was made for people that were disabled, nothing against disabled people at all, but you know what I'm saying? It was, bro, wake up, go to school, holes in my shoes, with a smile on my face though. Bro, I'd run track, everyone would come to track with these nice new shoes. I vividly remember the Nike Flyknits just came out. If you guys know the Nike Flyknits, I'm talking about the ones that were actually knitted. Like it didn't have any form to the shoe, but it was actually just knitted and it felt like a sock when you put them on. Bro, I used to go to school prior to getting those with holes in my shoes, outrun everyone and do it with a smile on my face because I was blessed to have the opportunity. What did God do? God put it on my mom's heart to get everything in her bank account and get me those Flyknits. And I got those Flyknits. In Jesus' name, I got those Flyknits. Thank you, Mom, if you're watching this. But guess what? When I got those, bro, 2x the speed. You know what I'm saying? I was already grateful with a little bit. So when I got blessed with more, guess what? 2x the speed. You know what I'm talking about, right? But this is like what happens when you show God that you're faithful with little. When you show God that you're grateful for what he's given you. And I want to continue reading because this is gonna tie it all together. So I was afraid and I went out and hid your gold in the ground. See here what belongs to you. Verse 26, his master said, you wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I harvest where I have not yet sown and gather where I have not yet scattered seed. Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers so that I returned and I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the deep darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. There's a price for delayed obedience. It's still disobedience. Knowing that you have a gift, a calling, something within you that God instilled there for a reason, and refusing to bring it to light, refusing to multiply, refusing to be fruitful with that is disobedience. Now you got a choice to make, right? I know that you're watching this and you're watching this for a reason, and you feel like God has called you to something bigger, something better, right? And it's not to say that you're not appreciative of what you do have, but I want you to realize that you might be focused so much on things that you don't have that you neglect stewarding what you do have, using what you do have effectively, right? I remember what that feels like, watching all these people start online fitness coaching, making money, serving others, and I'm like, yo, that was never me. You know, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'm capable of. That's kind of corny, this, that, and the third, but I always wanted to do it. Deep down, I always wanted to do it, and then I did it, and it worked. It really worked. I'm telling you, God gave you that vision. He gave you that idea, and you feel called for a reason. And what's the worst case scenario? That you try it and you end up exactly where you are, guess what? You were already gonna stay there the rest of your life. You know what I mean? What's 1 year to test something out? God is so good, man. Genuinely so good. Like, what an honor it is to sit here and be able to build something for just the sake of building. You have the opportunity to, why not use it? But moral of the story, I want you guys to understand that having the idea of one day wanting to be great, or having that big vision or that big dream, it's the first step, but it's not what separates you, right? Because I bet you the guy with one bag of gold, he probably had tons of ideas of what he could do with it. But what did he choose to do? He chose to hide it. So with that being said, having the dream is not enough. It doesn't mean anything. Having that vision, it's not enough. It doesn't mean anything, but you moving on it, that's what makes it meaningful. That's what shows God that you are exercising your ability. Intention is just intention. If you truly believe that that vision is God calling you to step into something bigger, it will change the way you walk, the way you talk, and the way you move. And that is a fact. To know and not to do is to not know, right? So you might sit here and say, oh, I believe I can make it happen, or I beg to differ if you haven't moved yet, right? But the thing I love is that you got today. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this, you have today to make a decision to change your life. A lot of people love to say, well, you can't change your life in one day. Well, I beg to differ, right? Because there's one day that you decide to just change everything, right? Within that day, there's hours. And within those hours, there's minutes. And within those minutes, there's seconds. And within those seconds, there's a moment where you decide that my life is never going to be the same. And I'm going to turn from my sinful nature. I'm going to turn from these bad habits. I'm going to turn from moving in scarcity and never look back, right? And it starts with one moment. I think understanding the power of just one moment is so important because it makes you feel in control. So with that being said, appreciate what you do have. Realize that you're living in a blessing and make the most out of it. Go out there, be fruitful, multiply. Dude, I'm 22 years old. I don't care if you're 30, 40 years old watching this. You have time to make something happen. And I'm not just talking about anything, I'm talking about something great. Build something that honors the Lord. Build something that you're truly proud of. And make the most out of this opportunity of a lifetime. My brothers, I'll see you next time. I'm out here in San Diego. I'm about to rip a bunch of videos out here. So next one should be coming soon. If you guys want to take the next step with that idea of being an online fitness coach, go ahead, click the link in the description, watch the video, and book a call with me one-on-one, and we'll run it up. But anyways, Jesus loves you. I love you. Deuces.